Akira.
The dawn.
He's got clout. Clean up your room. Clean up your room. Clean up your room. Clean up your room.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mahony Meeting Podcast. This is episode 5. We're here with my man Aaron. We're in a kitchen. Yeah. And if it's a little echoey, I apologize, but acoustics are, we deal with what we have, right? So, first of all, how's it going, Aaron?
I'm doing pretty good tonight, honestly. I'm glad to finally be here.
Be on the podcast?
Yeah, I've been excited
following
for this for a while, yeah.
Good. You'll be back, right?
For sure.
All right, good. Yeah, so tell everybody, the audience, about yourself. Who are you?
All right, well, like Casey said, my name's Aaron. I met Casey by going to SUNY Potsdam here, and I recently just graduated with a bachelor's of psychology, and I'm currently working on my first semester for my master's of social work from Binghamton University. I'm still living in Potsdam, and I'm doing it fully remotely this semester, so that's kind of whack, but we're getting through it. It's got its perks, though.
Yeah. Do you like or dislike the online?
I mean, obviously there's certain elements to in-person class that I think are pretty key when it comes to learning. So once that's a thing completely again, I think it should be, and I look forward to it. But in the meantime, I'm okay with online classes just because it allows me to do certain things that are helpful for me personally. I can still work on the weekends. I didn't have to move a few hours away to be down there. And I really don't know anyone down there right now, so I'm still seeing the people I know here that are left, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, they're fading though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be sticking around for much longer, but I tell you, a lot of my friend group also left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's how the thing goes. When you don't want to die.
It's just kind of life, yeah.
Well, when you don't want to die, you're kind of like, not today.
Right.
Yeah. So, what are you going into for a major for like
profession?
Yeah.
So basically, with the Master's Social Work program I'm in, I'm eventually trying to become a licensed clinical social worker. I'm still trying to figure out specific target groups of people I want to aid. Mostly because
age-wise and
all sorts of different
yeah.
demographics.
Yeah.
I mean, my psychology background, I definitely want to do like clinical work, therapy, and stuff like that.
Are you staying in this country, this state?
When people ask me that question, I pretty much always tell them like, I'll just go where the opportunity takes me.
Okay. You can't really weigh where you're gonna go unless you're very determined for that one spot.
I know, like, I'm not opposed to going somewhere far away. I'm not opposed to not going somewhere far away.
But it is New York State,
right? Yeah, the vampire state.
The vampire state.
Yeah.
Why is it called that?
Everything is just so taxed.
Oh, yeah.
Taxes, bro. They're evil.
I can tell you right now that nobody, I think all the listeners hate the taxes.
Good.
Well, most of the taxes, but I hate the way that things are run in this state. It's horrible. You just kind of funnel it into, the pit of the city.
Yeah.
It's all right though,
Right.
Yeah. So, you dabble in psychology, right? Well, I mean, it's your major, right?
I do be dabbling, yeah.
You do be dabbling.
Yeah.
What about philosophy? Is that any Any taken thing?
I enjoyed the philosophy classes I took.
What'd you take?
My first one was actually, I forget the name of it, but it was with Professor Curry. I don't know if you know him or not.
Heard the name.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Professor David Curry. Basically, the setting of the class was to go back into ancient Athens, and we learned about like the Socratic method and all those things, and we got to be on our own little court. It took place, I think it was like the Peloponnesian War. It was whenever the Spartans came and they invaded Athens, and they cut off the supply lines. So basically everyone in Athens was just trapped, starving, dying off. It's either like come out and surrender, or just the Spartans are going to wait you out because you're not going to have any supplies. And everybody in class got to play a different character from that time.
Oh, like actual historical people? Or just their own kind of character?
Some of them were historical. Like, there were people who had to play Socrates in certain classes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think some of the characters were just kind of made up, but most of them was like, actual historical figures.
Were they correct in giving the Socrates position to the ugliest person in the class?
Well, a few different people played it, so I would say no on that one. Didn't really have any ugly people in the class, though. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, there was no ugly duckling.
Oh, damn. Yeah, Socrates, have you seen a picture of him?
Yeah, I've seen many statues of him.
He is not a looker.
Yeah, there's a big emphasis on that.
Yeah, but Plato and Aristotle were a lot better looking guys.
Right.
Yeah. Allegedly. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So, no, it's good to hear that you took philosophy. Yeah.
The other philosophy class I took was actually an intro to ethics class. I took
that too.
Did you have Dos Santos?
No, I had Monroe.
Oh.
I think. Yeah, old guy. Wore shorts in the winter. Didn't care.
I mean, same.
Yeah, how was that class for you?
I mean, unfortunately, it was cut like in half because it was Corona semester, but...
Oh, so this is... Oh, you took that's a gen ed class, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just took it because a lot of people said they enjoyed it, and I was like, yeah, why not? My last semester, I just needed 18 credits. I could take literally whatever classes I wanted.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. So that's why I took that class. And yeah, it went well. We learned about,
Did they do the one with the pull the lever for the
trolley problem?
Yeah, the trolley
yes.
problem, that's it.
Yeah, that was a major one.
Yeah.
We had to write it.
Would you pull the lever? It's like 5 people and then it's like one guy.
I'll kill one person to save 5.
Yeah? But you're doing the act then. You do the act?
Yeah.
Oh. Instead of letting nature, quote, take its course. Yeah, people are unfamiliar with the trolley thing. It's
right.
A railroad winds off, and if you're by a lever, that'll change which way the railroad goes. And if you don't touch the lever, it'll kill 5 people. If you touch it, it'll kill just the one person, but you're responsible for death because you touched the button. That's what it is. There's also one with like a bridge and a fat guy, right?
Yeah, if you push the fat guy over the bridge,
stop the
train and save the people tied on the track. But
that's even worse.
You're actively murdering this guy, basically.
But he's the fat guy. He's useless to society, eating up.
Yeah, that's one argument.
Yeah, that's what my professor was talking about.
Yeah, and then we also learned about a few of the different types of like schools of thought, I guess, in philosophy, like utilitarianism, hedonism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are pretty normal. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that that's a gen ed. It's good, but it's if you want to do good in that class, literally, it's just definitions. There's not really much application.
Every paper I had to write in that class, I was just like, well, this is what you would do according to utilitarianism. And he was like, good job.
Yeah, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's get off school and let's delve into the hobbies of Aaron. You got any hobbies, man, that you want to share with us? Any of those hobbies that you love?
Well, beyond what I'm doing when it comes to schoolwork and things. I like to lift weights a lot. I'm pretty big on that. I was pretty involved in sports throughout most of my childhood.
What'd you play
Oh God,
growing up?
I played ASO soccer when I was like 5. I've played baseball, football, basketball. I got here and I started playing rugby. That was interesting. Yeah.
My one semester I played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played until they're like, yeah, you're all right, but we're just gonna keep putting you against our own team. That really got me mad.
I don't know what that was about, but hey.
Yeah,
happens.
we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we were on rugby, or at least when I was on rugby for the one semester, I would go to the tournament and they'd be like, oh, the home team has more people or more than enough people, and then the away team doesn't have enough people to play. So I guess we'll just, Casey, you're going to go. I'm like, word? And then they'd put me up against Joe, of course.
Yeah.
And Joe would just roll over me.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe was jacked. So, yeah, he didn't care. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to get this W.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys would lose. Sad face.
Tragic.
We don't talk about that.
Nope.
Yeah, but so like weightlifting and stuff like that. How has that impacted you? And did you just start during college, or was that just?
Which I started when I was 12 years old.
Damn, wait, that's pretty young, huh?
Yeah, it was like the summer after 6th grade, going into 7th grade. The first year of me, playing football. I never played like Pop Warner as a little kid or anything. I was always like too big. I was over the weight limit for it. But yeah, then 7th grade rolled around and everyone's like, yeah, you're a big dude. Come play football. I was like, you're right. And then they were like, hey, get in the weight room. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So as far as lifting weights for me from, like the age of 12 up until, being a senior in high school, just getting out of high school, my weightlifting was pretty much revolved around training for football. Yeah.
Did you play football all the way till senior?
Yeah, I played it all the way up through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any good?
I did all right. I mean, my senior year, I had first team recognitions for my section in class on both the offensive and defensive line.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get like any scholarship offers or anything like that.
Yeah, but
there was a recruiter who visited our high school, and I could have went and played there, but I don't know if you've ever heard of Hartwick or not.
No.
Yeah, it's really expensive. I can't afford that. And I knew, like, obviously I'm not going to like go to the NFL or anything, so I'm not going to put myself into a bunch of debt just so I can keep playing football a little longer. I mean, I do love the sport to this day. It is still my favorite sport, but
given the opportunity, would you play for the NFL?
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Make millions of dollars playing a game? I mean
well, I mean, it's not just merely a game. I mean, that's a contact sport, so
that's pretty much all I've ever played.
That's true.
That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, you
like being big dude using my body as a weapon. That's why I like rugby so much.
I'm the opposite, being small dude,
right.
Body as a weapon.
Yeah. Now it's been almost a decade of like playing contact sports, and I've kind of hit a point where my body's like, we can stop doing this now. It's taking some tread off the tires.
Yeah.
So as far as for me now, obviously I'm graduated from Potsdam. I'm not even playing rugby anymore. And at Binghamton, I'm there in grad school. I do not have time to try and get involved in some club sport. So yeah, basically my athletics is now just getting in the gym, lifting weights.
Yeah. So with like lifting weights, I always come back to, of course, discipline. Do you find yourself more disciplined like that? Like, do you use that discipline of going to the gym every day or at least every week in other aspects of life?
Yeah. It's just kind of a little voice in my head, which recently I found out not everyone has this voice. It's just this voice that tells me, hey, you need to do this because it's what you need to do. It's good for you. This is how you advance yourself toward your goals. It's very interesting to me to talk to people and find out they don't have a little voice like that in their head.
I'd say it's that little voice that tells you that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
When, you're just living life. Like that. People think that just...
The voice of reason, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that.
It's really weird.
You can tell, yeah. But it's funny that you mentioned discipline, because I was actually going to bring me to a point that I had been thinking about in anticipation for this. But I've been seeing this kind of movement lately, especially in the fitness community, where a lot of people say things like, like fuck motivation, discipline and consistency is everything. Which, when you say it like that, it makes a lot of sense, right? But for me, with my psychology background, the way I look at it is, it kind of is contradictory to say that, because this is how I'll break it down for you. So there's lots of different little subsets of types of motivation in psychology, right? But the two major groups of motivation are extrinsic and intrinsic, right? Mm-hmm. Intrinsic is your motivation that comes from within you. Mm-hmm. If you are intrinsically motivated to do something...
Intrinsic discipline? Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yes, you are doing it because you want to.
Is it motivation or discipline that they're contending with?
That's what I'm saying, is like discipline is intrinsic motivation, whereas like extrinsic motivation is you being motivated to do something
like
based
watching
on
a
something
video
from in your environment.
Yeah, like watching a video.
Yeah, like very common is like a reward punishment system.
Oh.
That's like the classic example of extrinsic motivation.
But it affects the intrinsic, the extrinsic, meaning that your reward system, the reward will affect the intrinsic.
I'll put it to you this way, okay? So when people say, fuck motivation, discipline is key, mm-hmm. If you're saying that in psychological terms, what you're saying is, fuck motivation, intrinsic motivation is key. Mm-hmm. So when you say it like that, it doesn't make any sense, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my point.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, discipline and consistency is still motivation.
Yeah.
And then, like, I see a lot of people explain the example of, like, what's getting you out of bed in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. So another psychological principle that made me think of is the thanatos and the ethos. I think that's how you pronounce it. There's
ethos, yeah.
Ethos, yeah. You've heard of it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the life and death motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously, when you want to just lay in bed all day, that's like your thanatos, literally your motivation to be dead. Mm-hmm. Right. But the getting out of bed is the ethos, the life motivation to continue to survive, keep going, right? That's still motivation.
Yeah. I just got to say real quick, I heard a really good quote the other day. You might like it.
Okay.
It was, many guys are willing to die for something, but they're not willing to live for it. I like that. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of ring true to that. I mean, yeah, willing to die for something, but, does that make any sense or no?
No, it definitely does.
Yeah.
A lot of people just kind of go through the motions through life every day, just mm-hmm. cyclical patterns, doing the same kind of tedious, mindless things, and not really going anywhere. It's
like work, get up, work, go home, eat.
The hamster wheel, yeah. That's what society is built on, and it's just sad to watch. And a lot of people...
Yeah, it's security, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. People get comfortable in it because
they're
we're creatures of habit.
Yeah, we're afraid of the unknown.
Right.
Yeah, because you got to have one foot out in the unknown and one foot in the known, mm-hmm. like the classic yin yang symbol. Jeez, with
mm-hmm.
the duality.
Right.
Another good quote by Alan Watts: "Duality is secretly unity. You need the known mm-hmm. to have the unknown. Known implies unknown, and if you have everything known to you, you're just going to go insane. If everything is unknown, obviously you're going to go insane.
Yeah.
Chaos. So yeah, what I find is you've got to install intimations of unknown into your life. You mm-hmm. can't just jump in. Sometimes there's you think you're jumping in, but it's only little steps at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you were climbing pillars, right? And you're jumping from pillar to pillar to try and go up and be more successful. Right? You got to make the leap, and the leap is scary because you can fall if you miss.
Mm-hmm. But you don't realize that you can jump from the bottom or climb your way back up.
Yeah. So a lot of people, they get comfortable on the plateau that they're at. They're like, hey, pretty nice chilling here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need to leap up to that next one. The grass is green here. You know, which...
Yeah, like I always think two things. One is that in order to jump from the ground, sometimes you have to hit the bottom, and you got to feel for that. And then, that's one of the things I live by. And another thing is, in order to make the grass grow green, you have to fertilize it with shit.
Well, yes.
You gotta go through the shit.
I'm a big believer in that. One of the best teachers is failure.
Oh yeah. It's a step to success. It's not success.
It's just how you learn. It's like, well, this is not the way to do that. You know, if you
people feel bad though.
Yeah, obviously it feels bad and it sucks to fail. But if you think of it this way, if you fail at something 100 times, you've just found 100 ways to not do it, and you've increased your probability of finding the right way to do it by eliminating, just process of elimination. You know.
That's how they did. I mean, that's how human existence, I feel like, came to be, you know?
Yeah. Like, it's weird for me to think about that sometimes. Like, I'll be like, damn. Think about, like, the first caveman to just, like, be out looking down a cliff and just hear the call of the void and be like, man, I wonder what happens if I jump off this, like, 200-foot cliff. And they just die. Think about it. Like, that's probably how we figured out, yeah, we can't fall from high heights. We die. It's like someone did it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know.
There's actually a psychological name for that, a calling to death when you come near a cliff.
Yeah.
I can't remember
the call of the void, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think that's like a popular term for it.
Yeah. I thought there was a scientific term for it.
There is. Okay. I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the technology, but I can't be bothered.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
There's Jordan Peterson used to talk about how as you walk into the abyss, you become more entangled in the void. So like as you walk, you get closer and closer to the edge, and you don't know where you're gonna fall. Right. Kind of a thing, and people are scared to death of that.
Yeah,
but you know,
I mean, there are certain things like that where we just naturally, through millions of years of evolution, long before even humans existed, where there's primal instincts that tell you not to do things. So maybe something as simple as like the cliff, you already know, like, hey, don't jump off the cliff.
But there's that part
of you without actually knowing it. But
there's that part of you that's like,
yeah, that's like what we were just talking about, the Thanatos and the Ethos, always battling.
Yeah. Do you believe? I heard this that sleep is an intimation of death every night. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I've heard that theory before. That like we die in our sleep every night and we're reborn.
Well, no, not like that. Like we're trying, like we're having a little instance of death. Not like we're actually dying, but like our body is training for it almost.
Okay, I see. Well,
yeah.
I joke about that sometimes. I'm like, yeah, death is kind of like sleep is kind of like a little like free like 1 week trial of death.
You ever listen to Alan Watts?
A little bit.
He said death is like going to sleep and never waking up. So I mean,
a lot of people die that way.
He died that way.
That's widely considered the best way to die. Yeah. Apparently.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure who they're really asking because you can't really poll dead people, but
not that you know.
Yeah. I look up the Yelp review. It's like, hey, Chris died 5 years ago. Yeah, I went in my sleep, pretty lit.
Wasn't so bad. You ever hear about those guys that are clinically like they're declared dead and then they come back?
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of crazy shit like that.
Yeah, have you ever listened to those guys? They're like, I saw God.
Yeah, I've seen some stories where it's either I met God, or I was in hell, or nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. I like that one the best. Yeah, nothing happened.
Just dead. Yeah,
just dead. Not life changing enough.
Right.
Yeah. Man.
Kind of reminds me. I was seeing this post go around a lot on like Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Who's on there?
Right. This guy was sentenced to life in prison, and he had a near-death experience. And then his argument was, well, technically I served my sentence because I died, and I just happened to come back to life. So I mean,
Was this up for like judicial review?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I think they were basically like, no, shut up. But yeah, I don't think it got any like real traction. Maybe people were trying to pass it around Instagram to maybe give this guy some traction and like see him get out of jail. You know, everyone wants to see some sort of like wild, crazy story like that, right?
Coming off of that, this is just completely ass sideways. Do you eat that Dave's bread that Jeremy mentioned? You ever eat
I've tried it.
I tried it the other day, and I read the side of the bag.
He spent 15 years in prison. Yeah.
Dave's bread is this bread where it's like literally like the grains are huge in that.
Yeah.
And isn't it pretty good for you? It's pretty healthy.
Yeah, they like jam a bunch of protein in it.
Yeah. Actually,
that's something
good.
that's really mind-boggling to me. Is all these new foods coming out that are like things that don't have protein have like a stupid amount of protein. Because one have
like what?
Well, think of like protein bars.
Mm-hmm.
Like actual
chocolate.
protein bars.
Chocolate has protein. Like what?
Yeah. And that's even just like a small example, but yeah, people have all sorts of like recipes on the internet. It's like protein sweets, you know, like you can make protein cookies, protein cake, protein brownies.
Doesn't Joe do that?
Yeah, Joe.
He makes recipes.
Hopefully, he can come on the podcast sometime. That'd be nice. But,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, he sometimes posts recipes on his Insta story. Yeah, you should put him in the description later.
What's his Instagram? Joe Bovey.
Yeah, I think it's just Joe_Bovey. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah. But yeah, he's really good about that.
Yeah, if you want healthy stuff,
yeah,
he's pretty good. Yeah, but so yeah, it is kind of crazy. How do they do that? How do they inject protein?
That's what I mean. That's like the double-edged sword that I think about. Like one side of me is like, oh, this is great. I can get the amount of protein I need to eat because, you know, I'm a big dude. I need to eat a lot of protein.
Yeah. And then that one side of you is like, wait a minute.
What the hell are they doing to this stuff to make this happen? Because that's not natural, you know?
Don't ask the engineer across the table from you.
Right. But also at the same time, it's just like, even regular food, like bread.
Mm-hmm.
Bread is fucking wild.
Oh, how they make it and like how that came to be?
The existence of bread.
Oh.
In general. Like,
yeah.
Like what they've done to it. Like,
oh, I think...
like the little, like, 89 cents a loaf, like, square white bread in, you know, like the Walmart special. Yeah. I look at that stuff. I'm like, this is not food. What is... But so many people eat it every day.
Animals eat it too.
Yeah.
Animals are just like, yeah, it's there. Animals are just like, oh man, this slaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, what's it? Pigeons? I think it's pigeons. It makes pigeons explode or something.
They can't digest it.
Yeah,
it never
it is pigeons.
So
right?
they just eat an ungodly amount of it until the internal organs just burst because they can't hold anymore.
Jesus. Nature is wild.
Yeah, they're birds. They don't know any better.
Yeah, because birds have like the smallest brains.
I mean, birds aren't real, right? No.
Yeah. Birds are government drones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say you didn't hear it.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna be tracked now. Shit.
Damn. All right. Yeah. Well, maybe
demonetized.
You'll get some followers.
Yeah.
Some FBI agents.
Demonetized from Jeremy. Tracked by the FBI.
Yeah.
Yo, FBI agent, if you don't subscribe and be tight, you can watch, but you gotta subscribe.
Right.
So, what's your relationship with nature? Do you like nature?
I have
going out in the wood, in the bush.
The bush.
The bush.
I've definitely gotten a much larger appreciation for the woods in the past year, and even more so, especially when quarantine hit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like one of the main first arcs of the quarantine. We're talking back in like, yeah, because we just live in an anime.
2020.
Yeah, 2020 the anime. Don't recommend. Anyway, late March, you know, and like early April, spent a lot of time walking trails.
Like the ones over by Clarkson?
Yeah, just the one right behind Stewart's here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a big trail.
Yeah, you guys are... Yeah, that was a
kind
good
of in
walk.
the woods, but yeah.
It's on the waterfront, though.
Yeah, there was more in the woods places I've went to,
Oh.
like Stone Valley,
Where I
Islands
live.
Falls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because I brought you there. You've seen
Yeah, that's...
those woods. I'll take you sometime.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want anything to go wrong out there. Because,
Why?
if you, needed help...
Oh. Well, I mean, it is 89 acres or 87 acres.
Yeah.
Eh.
That's where it comes in, is like, you gotta know how to handle your own stuff.
Oh, you don't know bushcraft? Do you know what bushcraft is?
I think you were telling me about it the other day, like learning how to actually build your own houses
Oh,
in the middle
I
of
was, yeah.
doing stuff that, our ancestors just had to do
Do you know
every
how to
day.
do that?
Because, not really.
You should learn.
I played with Lincoln Logs as a kid.
Honestly, that's kind of how it works.
You chop down a tree, cut some Lincoln Log holes into it, put more tree on it.
You ever seen that, been on Facebook, and you see, some Indian dude just make, a Taj Mahal out of mud?
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't know why that keeps popping up in my feed. It's because my Facebook feed is literally monkey videos.
So basically,
Indian guys.
I'm monkey.
I'm monkey.
Yeah.
And when I say monkey, there's no Y on that.
No. But yeah, that's the crazy part. If you take it to the next level on things, you see it go around Facebook and go viral. Someone, like you said, builds the Taj Mahal out of mud.
Well, I mean, the other thing though is it is from India, and anything from India is gonna have a lot of views because India's a big.
But another
place.
thing about that is people make a big deal about that now, but if you look back and think about it, that's just thousands of years ago. That's just a basic skill. Everyone does that shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now you need somebody specialized in that.
Yeah.
Because we have regulations and all that. Yeah.
That's when you start to kind of delve into the kind of more conspiracy stuff of oh no, what are the treacherous effects of the Industrial Revolution on society? Have we gone too far?
I just have to say this one joke before I forget it. I saw it online the other day. It's if Mother Nature decides to take all of us out, you know what she's going to say right before it? No homo.
Got it.
No homo sapien.
Yeah, it's 2020.
That was a good one.
Yeah, facts. It's 2020. We ain't saying no homo. We're saying pro homo. Oh.
Well, I mean, true, but
yeah.
Mother Nature do be saying no homo sapiens.
Oh, facts.
I mean, look at Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Chernobyl's whack. I love Chernobyl.
That just reminded me of one of the most whack things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
There was a kid I went to high school with who tried to actually campaign to people that we should nuke Africa and recolonize it.
How does he... What?
I think the major part he's overlooking there is
radioactive.
You're not going to be able to if you nuked all of Africa, you wouldn't be able to recolonize it for thousands of years. At a minimum.
Well, I mean, depends what kind of nuke, but yeah. I mean, Hiroshima, I mean, if it was a smaller nuke, yeah. But nowadays,
but
yeah.
We're talking about the
whole continent actually. Now
yeah, you're gonna need
the
the big guns.
Yeah, that would just fill with water, wouldn't it?
I think you'd just destroy the planet at that point.
Yeah, because Africa is
yeah, bro, we're taking Africa off the map. It's chill.
Did he have any justification for it, or did he just want to do it?
I think he was just very uneducated, and he just thinks all of Africa is a bunch of bush people.
Africa's actually, there are parts of Africa that are actually pretty good.
Africa is the only continent where if the human population died off on every other continent, you could restart humanity.
I mean, it's where it started. Allegedly.
Yeah, but every genome exists in Africa, and that's the only continent.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty
naturally,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. No, I was just thinking, what's your favorite continent? Or favorite country? You got one?
Well, as far as countries, I mean, I'm a big homer. Obviously, I'm a very patriotic American, and I
say a big homer.
Yeah, yeah. I genuinely believe America's the best country in the world. Yeah,
Homer Simpson,
my guy. Oh, yeah.
Doe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Greasy America? Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like America, but I'm really big into Russia, ancient Russian, not modern Russian. Like ancient Russia, like...
oh, well, I mean, if we're talking about that, like...
oh, yeah, I'm talking any time period. In general.
I really fuck with the Spartans.
I was about to say, I like Sparta,
Yeah,
Sparta
I mean-
too. Yeah, but the only thing is they were like... They had some weird rules, didn't they?
Like, which ones are you referring to?
Like trials and stuff like that, didn't they? Or voting or some weird stuff.
They don't think they really voted much. They just kind of settled things with their swords.
Yeah.
I mean,
also...
obviously it wasn't
yeah.
a completely, like, anarchical society.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
I mean, kind of, because they were like, yo, if you literally can't kill a tiger with your hands,
Yeah.
you're not in.
Well, yeah, like, at the age of, like, 7, they just take these boys and it's like, hey, here's a rock. One of you has to bash the other one's skull in with it.
And also, at birth, they look over the kid and they're like,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah, if it was ugly, they just tossed it. They yeeted it off a rock.
Yo. Oh, my God. I mean...
Imagine if people were doing stuff like that today. People being, like, pro-lifers rioting about that.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm pro-life, but holy crap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
know
can
the people
imagine.
I'm talking about, though.
Oh, no, I do.
Like the
yeah.
Facebook warriors.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, do you believe that ancient Sparta was kind of a utopia? In a sense? At the time? Like, if you were in at the time? Obviously not a modern utopia, but...
Yeah, I mean, living in Sparta when it was at its peak, I imagine, was pretty decent as far as living in the ancient world standards go.
So, maybe?
Yeah.
I feel like it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you are fine buying into this culture and system and you're all about the way of the fist, yeah.
The way of the fist? Never heard that.
It's a generalist term.
Way of the
There were-
warrior.
Yeah, like their society was based on violence.
Yeah. They were vibing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I fuck with it.
You saying? Are you trying to say you'd kill somebody? You'd bash them in with a rock
I mean, if I had to.
at 7? At 7, you'd just be like, all right.
At 7, you don't know anything. So someone's like, some adult's like, yeah, take
Dude.
that rock and bash his head, and you'd be like, okay.
Aaron over here like, I den.
Yeah. You'd be like, I'll make Dad proud.
Oh my God, he's about to look like an arts and crafts
Yeah, you'd
project.
be like, can I sleep in? And Dad's gonna be like, is pussy.
Yeah, more like, can I live?
Right?
Yeah, you're about to get yeeted. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Anyway, now's the time of the podcast that I wanted to ask my question. I have to pull up my phone because I always forget what
okay.
the hell the question is. Oh, wait, no, this is the one off the top of my head. So, I always ask this. I said I would make a name for this bit. I'll probably add some music to make it spiffy or something. But anyways, this is going to be Casey's Query for Aaron. This is episode...
Can we even say that word anymore?
Query?
Yeah.
Yeah. Query? Query?
All right.
It's like, you know the word I'm talking about, right? Questioning? To question?
No,
yeah.
I
know
meant,
what
like,
you're saying.
Is it PC to say queer anymore?
Yeah. No, I
don't
don't, whatever. But, like I said, this is my
Q,
platform,
yeah.
so whatever.
Yeah, right?
Oh, Q? Q?
No, I mean,
Q?
like, it's the Q.
Yeah, Q?
Another time.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Where we go one, we go all.
God. Oh, we'll be here for hours.
We're gonna get boofed.
Facts.
We're gonna boof a red pill. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're older than like 30, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sentence made
No
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
boof, red pill? What?
Okay, boomer.
So anyway, back to Casey's query. Just like when I asked Patrick and Tristan and forgot to ask Jeremy.
Oh. Well, it happens.
And I don't remember if I asked Thomas.
The train.
No. Last
Yo,
episode.
celebrity special guest.
I think
Actually, I think
me.
the voice actor for Thomas the Train died.
This year?
I'm
2020
I'm
sucks.
actually just spitballing here. I don't know. I said I was gonna actually look shit up when I talked about it, but
Nah.
that takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah, Jimmy, pull that shit up. Yeah.
Shit.
But anyway, when you deal with somebody who is contending you, obviously, I think that's a better way to put it, actually, contending you, what psychologically do you do in order to deal with the situation?
Okay.
Do you want to? Have you heard my take on this?
Probably. I've listened to your previous episodes.
Okay, yeah, then you're filled in.
Okay, yeah. I guess when you say contending, for me, it kind of depends on different situations. Maybe like a little more context, like for
Situational
instance, like,
analysis.
Like, do you mean like if they disagree with my opinion? Or
Let's say they're disagreeing with your perspective. Kind of opinion.
Okay, yeah. So
But
more or
perspective's a
less.
little more
Right.
discreet, yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, I deal with that pretty often, being fairly...
Woke.
Yeah, I mean...
Educated, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an SJW like a lot of people that I come across, so...
Oh my god, I'm so sick of that here. That's for another time, though, but...
Yeah. Yeah, the weaponizing of politics. Blech.
Yeah.
But anyway... So usually what I do, and having my psychology background has really helped me with this, I try to put myself in the shoes of the other person first to try and understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's kind of like mine.
To think about it like, why do they feel this way? Why are they saying these things?
Mm-hmm.
And if it makes sense, because they have because normally when people get so agitated to where they're going to go off on someone for having a different opinion, they've experienced some sort of distress in their life that has made them feel that strongly about a certain subject. So if you just take a step back and look at it, and you're like,
sometimes it's not even related.
yeah, you're just like, you know what? This person feels this way because of that. I'm not going to change their mind because they feel strongly about it. It's really not worth my time to deal with it.
So yeah, it's because sometimes the arguments are... sometimes it's worth it to argue.
Yeah, it really depends. If they want to actually try to have an educated debate, not an argument, if they want to, break down facts.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And it's like, okay, you can feel this way, but like just because your feelings are hurt doesn't mean you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. But, that's a double-edged sword because you see it all the time, especially now. You can manipulate statistics for your agenda in many different situations.
Yeah, but there still are some pretty dry statistics on a lot of areas.
But there's also a big gray area where, especially like the pandemic we're living in, both sides using the same statistics about the virus to push their agenda. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. The other night, I tried to look up how many people watched the Democratic nominee convention or whatever.
National Convention, DNC.
The DNC.
Yeah.
How many people watched the RNC.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing claims like, like way more millions people watched the DNC. No, way more millions people tuned in to night 3 the RNC. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look up the numbers. I want the hard facts here. Couldn't find them. Everything was just politically biased news sources saying the claims.
CNN, NBC, ABC,
yeah, like we all know the typical news sources and which way they lean, but like I could not find like an unbiased this is how many people were watching the DNC this night and this is how many people were watching RNC this night. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm a bit conservative, but I listen into the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's news outlet, and I really like them because they'll go,
right,
yeah, we'll give you the info dry cut, we'll give you our opinion, and then what they say at the end is they go, yeah, but go listen to a liberal output and get their take also. I like how they plug other good actual liberals, not this leftist, but
it's kind of that's another thing a lot of people don't understand. We'll get into that in a second. But,
okay.
That's kind of a keeping people honest thing. That's because, if you go to that liberal news source and they're just completely off the rockers pushing an agenda, they're like, oh, yeah, everyone look at that. Look at what they're doing.
But not really liberal, though, obviously.
Yeah, that would definitely be more leftist. But
yeah. Well, radical leftist, actually. even leftists, I find that even leftists, an actual leftist is all right. Because actually, you know Steven Crowder, right?
Yeah.
Steven Crowder is actually kind of a liberal. He says that
He's from Canada.
He says he's a classical liberal.
Yeah.
And
that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, and everybody's like, no, he's conservative. It's like,
no.
If you actually listen to his perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, that's kind of what's happened in politics over the past few decades. Is just there's a chart where you can see like where on the political spectrum the typical like liberal leans and where the typical conservative leans, and like each election is just further.
Well, actually, I think what's happened more is the
divide keeps increasing.
I think it's different. I actually think that it's more liberal and conservative are now unbiased neutral from the perspective of radical right and radical left.
That's what I mean. Like the average.
Because like I don't think
the average person on the left has become more radically left. The average person on the right has become more radically right.
Yeah,
and that's where the divide is increasing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and we're seeing the bad effects of that.
Yeah, we are. I obviously being at a college, I see a lot more leftists emerging at a liberal arts college, especially.
Yeah, I mean that's another big thing to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, if I was in the position of somewhere else, maybe I'd see radical rightists more like
the alt-right.
The alt-right, yeah. What are they? Oh, neo-Nazis. That's what they are. There's the neo-Nazis.
See, that's actually really interesting to me.
What's that?
Because a lot of people don't know the roots of fascism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't. Yeah. It's not a gen ed. I think it should be.
No. It's interesting to me because actually, like, people forget what like Nazi stands for. It's a National Socialist Party.
Socialist Party.
Yeah, they were socialist.
I'm trying to remember what it was in German.
Yeah, right. Like, and if you ask anyone, oh yeah, socialism is like left leaning, right? Yeah, that like socialism is like far left.
We are a little bit socialist though,
right?
America uses a little bit of socialism,
We have different social policies that are.
We don't have an actual democracy. We're kind of a hybrid. No actual government.
Well, there's different types of democracy.
Yeah, well, only I've heard that the best working governments are hybrids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't traditionally follow one to a T because they all have their own flaws. Mm-hmm. So you try to mix and mend each of them to counteract the flaws.
Mm-hmm. What I've seen
obviously no system's going to be perfect.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Recently I've seen that the right is the neo-Nazis and the left are the Marxists.
Which is funny to me because they're cut from the same cloth. That's my point.
Yeah.
A lot of people associate fascism and the Nazis with the right and conservative values when in reality they're socialist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people that are Marxists that don't know it. You know what I mean? Like they would.
Well, it's pretty easy to be a Marxist on the base level because you just listen to his ideas of just like social welfare.
It makes sense.
Yeah, like if you say I don't agree with those things, like you look like an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like everybody should read. It's not the Little Red Book. It is a Little Red Book.
The
Communist Manifesto. That's it. Sorry. I always think the Little Red Book, but no, that's Mao Zedong. Yeah, in Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
I actually just picked up a book. It's called Hitler's Scientists. I haven't read it yet, but I'm very intrigued because you know what Hitler's scientists did, right?
All sorts of shit. Yeah.
Oh well, they actually did contribute to science pretty well for the modern people in a horrible, cruel way. But they figured out like when humans freeze and like when humans die at certain conditions. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what that book's about, but I haven't.
Yeah,
haven't
that
cracked
reminds
it open
me of in 6th grade when my social studies teacher, my social studies teacher was telling the class about how Leonardo da Vinci, used to cut up cadavers to learn about the anatomy of the human body and draw diagrams, and everyone in the class was disgusted. They're like, "Ew, like playing with corpses?
They're dead."
Yeah. What they didn't understand was, and what my teacher quickly explained is like, in order for us to understand things about the human body and make advancements in medical science. Someone had to do it.
Well, just think like right now, like you could just ask somebody who hasn't been taught, like, draw a picture of your bones. Oh, you haven't seen them? Okay, I guess you don't know. Go chop someone up, then you'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kids wouldn't really get that unless you really explained it to them.
Yeah, I mean, we're like 12. I don't know. Like, definitely old enough to where you could understand that concept.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I remember my teacher was like mad. He's like, you little shits. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. But yeah, that's going back to politics. Kind of weird for this podcast. We don't really talk about politics, but the whole political agenda thing is kind of annoying. But luckily, I figured out it's actually not as hard as I thought it would be to kind of just block it out. You know, like I still see it, but I just don't care.
Yeah, it's definitely harder because we're in an election year. So they try to make it seep and ooze into every little orifice it can.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be politicized, and that's what I don't like about like the weaponizing of politics in our countries. Like, not everything has to be some political battleground.
It's a popularity thing too.
Yeah, like
they're trying to get the
culture.
They're trying to get like the moral high ground.
Yeah, everyone's always trying to one up the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
That it also kind of plays into like the human need to try and make everything black and white in life, when the reality is the majority of things are gray.
Mm-hmm. Shades of gray.
Yeah.
50 Shades?
Oh, there's a lot more than 50 shades.
had to do it to him, huh? Yeah.
Damn, Daniel, back out again with the white man's.
Yeah. So, I have other questions.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, damn. Let me pull that up, Jamie.
Oh shit! And Jamie hit the booth. He can't pull it up.
I can't afford Jamie yet, but we'll get him. He does the editing, right?
I think so. Well,
I need somebody else to do the editing. Friggin' takes forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure some episodes take more than others.
They do. They definitely do. Here we go. And so I called this. I have another section of the podcast. I'll put some music in here too. Make it sound cool. I named it Crucibles, Crucifixes, and Crucial. So basically, crucibles being for science, crucifixes for religion, faith, and crucial for anything philosophical, psychological. That was a pretty cool name.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll start with the first one. I'm not sure if I haven't really heard your take, but what role does faith play in your life? And by faith, you can say religion or your own
spirituality.
Spirituality. Yeah.
So I'll take you back to my upbringing.
Okay.
Like, I kind of had a Catholic upbringing, but like my parents were never too serious on like forcing religion. Like, would they
go like every week?
We didn't go to church.
Did they go every week though?
No.
Would they go like
never
ever? No. Because I know
they
some
had shit to do. I mean,
well, yeah, no, I know some families they only go on Christmas. That's kind of a thing.
We never even went to like mass or anything like that on Christmas. No.
But it was kind of like an underlying.
It was kind of like
feature.
Had Christian moral values.
Oh, so Western civilization kind of values. Yeah.
But they were never like God.
Like me.
Yeah, like they
weren't in it to win it.
Yeah.
No. But anyways,
they believed in prayer and things like that.
That's good.
Yeah. So as a kid, I just kind of like, one of the things I think is weird is you have to put like a religious affiliation on your medical form. So they always put Catholic on mine. But yeah, that's whack. But anyway,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that, but yeah. It's like,
there might be reasons like different religions have like things that they can't take or do, or things that are.
But you think you can ask someone, it's like, hey, do you believe in like medicine?
Well, I mean, unless you're unless you're like incapacitated.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, well, so that's probably why.
That one of the classical, like, going back to philosophy, like ethical situations, like the pregnant woman needs a blood transfusion or else the child dies, but they don't believe in taking blood in from another person or something like that. So the husband's like, nope, let him die. And then you're the doctor, and I'm like, I can't just let my patient die. So what do you do?
But you can.
Yeah.
Or actually, you have to.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't violate their... well, I think the part of that, whereas the kicker is like, because the child's life is involved. It's been a while since I looked into that one, but I think there's some certain, like she can make a decision for herself to die, but like
she can't make the decision for the child.
She can't make the decision for the child to die.
I'm just gonna.
She's like further along in the like it's a life. It's not like a cell. It's going to be a baby that'll be born.
It's the pro-life movement right there. Just gonna say it.
Gamer move.
Gamer move.
Based.
Ooh.
My favorite word.
Based. Honestly, based.
Yeah, I mean, like.
Sorry, older people.
Understand based, your accent based. That's how I sound to people when I say based.
Yo, you called me the other day. It was like the middle of the day, and I was like, hello? What the hell? And you're just like, honestly, based.
And I just hung up the phone. Yeah.
Okay, look, if you're like over, again, if you're over like 20, let's say if you're about 30, if you're over 30, you're not going to understand any of this shit. Only 12-year-olds should really understand this, and
it'd be like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, based. Yeah. Yeah, so
going back to
for spirituality, actually, once I like kind of got into my teens, I actually kind of turned like atheist, because I looked around in the world and I'm like, there's all this suffering and hardship, and I was like, there's really like this all-knowing, all-caring, all-powerful God, why does he allow this stuff to go on? If we're all really his creation and he loves us, why does he allow so much suffering and pain, right? So I had that kind of belief through most of like high school, and then I became religious again because I just had this experience. Well, I mean, I've had like multiple experiences in my life in that time that like I could not explain with anything, logical, like scientific or anything like that.
Miracles. Kind of.
Supernatural stuff, bro.
Yeah. No, it can be a miracle.
Yeah.
Miracles.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want me to delve into the
mystical,
the exact moment that had me like, yo, the homeboy up there is real.
Yeah, if you want to.
I had a dream, actually.
I just gotta... The music change in that, it just reminds me that dreams are like nature's...
We don't understand them.
Yeah, we don't need them.
Yeah.
Sorry, we need them, but we don't understand why we need them.
We still don't even really understand sleep, or like why we have to.
Yeah, biologically we don't. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. What was the dream?
I had an angel come to me, like the typical, stereotypical, like beautiful, angelic.
I'm just gonna tell you by dream analyzation. If somebody were to analyze that, I would guess that they would say, that would be the angel Gabriel, because he's the messenger of God.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked female.
Yeah, but I don't think... Are angels gendered?
I don't know.
Think they are.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for that.
Well, what happened is when the angel got close to me, it became like this horrid beast. Okay. And it started choking me. Yeah. And if you actually look in the Bible, the way they describe angels is not the way they are depicted. Mm-hmm. They're like kind of horrifying, but also like captivating at the same time. Like they're scary looking, basically, but you're like, it's an angel though.
Horrifyingly evanescent kind of a thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like too much for the human mind, kind of.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, that does.
We're just little ants on the farm, bro. Yeah.
God shakes us up. That's what 2020
Smooth
is.
brain.
2020 is when God shook up the ant farm.
Facts. But yeah, after that, like.
No, was this one of those?
Much like a spiritual kind of communication. Like there was no words or anything, but I got the message. Like, this is a reminder. Like, hey, he's real. Like, he didn't turn his back on you. You turned your back on him, kind of thing.
Now, was this, what do they call those? Oh, crap. The type of dreams where you literally feel like you're there.
I genuinely felt like the physical sensation of being choked.
Yeah, because I forget the hell they call those. Oh man, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot because I yeah. But anyways, yeah, those dreams.
ASMR, IRL.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So after that,
Wait, was that the entire dream?
That was the entire dream. Yeah.
How long were you being choked for a long time, or was it just choked and then
not super long?
That conveyance of information.
Yeah, it wasn't like choking me to like try and murder me. It was choking me to be like, hey, Goofy, stop hitting the booth. Yeah. Yeah. As far as beyond that, like after that, yeah, I just kind of got more spiritual. Tried to basically be a good person. Like at the end of the day, I think that's the main thing. Like personally, I kind of think organized religion is kind of BS. Like one quote I really like is, going to church every Sunday doesn't make you any more of a Christian than standing in the garage makes you a car.
I mean, in a way, no, coming from I understand you have practicing Catholic,
right?
I'll agree with. I'll just say this: a good priest of mine, I'm not going to say which one,
may or may not have the same last name.
No.
Oh, not him.
No.
Oh, all right.
We don't have any priests in our family.
I thought your brother was a priest.
No.
Oh, might be.
No. If anybody's, I don't think anybody in our family is really going to be a priest. But anyways,
all right.
But anyway, a priest of mine, he kind of has a side look at that. It's just like politics. There's a government. There's politics within the church. That's
of course.
Yeah, that part is what people think that the little churches around town are like. No, these little churches around town are, I personally think, are a lot more spiritual than you're going to find than opposed to those politics. Like the diocese. You know what a diocese is, right?
No, actually.
Okay, so a diocese basically overlooks the churches of an area.
Okay.
So ours would be the Diocese of Ogdensburg.
Oh.
They overlook like here all the way to where I'm from, and they can do some real, like they manage the money, so it's kind of like
right.
they're butting heads.
Yeah.
And then that obviously, there's the whole stigma of the Catholic Church being poor and all that, but yeah, so that that's kind of the downfall of the church, but you have to have it. It needs to be set up differently.
What I mean is, like, obviously there's benefits to organized religion and to the communities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like advocating for, we need to tear down all the churches and all that. I'm saying like, for the people who, if it makes you feel better, if it gives you a sense of community, gives you connections, improves your life, that's great. I'm saying you don't have to be like that.
Well, it depends upon the person, because personally, of course, I believe in everything, resurrection and of course the consecration and all that. But if you look at the mass as if it were just an action, which I think is what you're doing, you're looking at it as just going somewhere to do something or to attend something as if it was being put on like a play. Yes, I could see that it's not any better than just being a person of who you are. But the mass is so much more than that people don't explore themselves. You really, really have to sit down and talk with like a very prominent priest in order to realize what the mass actually is, symbolically, fundamentally, spiritually. That's one thing that I personally can't tell you what it's like.
Right.
Yeah. But that would be my take on it. But anyway, sorry, going back to your story.
I mean, for me, as far as my connection to quote unquote God,
Oh, quote unquote. Do you believe there's God? Do you believe in God? Or?
I do believe in God, yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll
talk more about that in a
what about
second,
you were just saying it's at the end of high school, right? You became religious then?
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to that.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like what I do spiritually, I mean, I do believe in prayer. I pray.
Now, I just want to focus on that spiritual. You went to church again, or when you got back to being?
No, I don't.
Okay, what did you do? Oh, after the dream, that was it.
I started using prayer,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Individually, alone, or
Yeah, just take a little time out of the day to just, go bend the knee somewhere, put my hands up, just. And I'm a big believer in, like, you shouldn't be selfish with your prayers. You shouldn't be always asking for stuff.
Oh,
You should be praying for other people mostly, or if you're going to pray for yourself, it should be, like, pretty general stuff. Like, obviously not, like, materialistic things. You can be like, yo, God, my father, please hook me up with a Bugatti. No, it should be like, my heavenly Father.
It's a humiliation kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, Heavenly Father, please bless me with the strength to get through these difficult times right now if you're going through something hard. Or, if you're going through good times too, be like, Dear Heavenly Father, I am thankful for the blessings you've been giving.
I pray every morning and night, and it's along the lines of that. I shout out to my dad, my actual father, not the spirit of the father. My dad has a list of I think it's a list of literally everybody he knows, and he'll go through the people and he'll pray for them. It's a long list.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know what he does. I don't know if he does one a night or all of them, but yeah, I gotta say, holy crap.
Like sometimes I'll see someone put on a Facebook status, and there's someone I even hardly know, but I'm friends with them on Facebook, and they're just like, could really use thoughts and prayers right now for this. I'm like, all right, fuck it, yeah. And then I just get on the couch. I'm like, yo, God,
I went
I
went to mass today, and right before I went to mass, I actually got a text from one of my friends asking for a prayer. That's kind of nice to hear,
Yeah.
That people, even though they aren't religious, their family was kind of like you. And they, there's still belief in the prayer. That's kind of a weird, maybe that's a reoccurring theme. I don't know a lot of non-religious people, obviously, because of where I grew up. But maybe the, quote, atheist. I say quote atheist because nobody's really an atheist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people, I guess, if you have a nihilistic view, you're like a true atheist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably a lot of people who identify as atheists are technically agnostic.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yep. Would you think that you're agnostic or kind of a mixture?
I would say there was phases where I was agnostic and where I was atheist through that time.
What about now?
I wouldn't say I'm either. I don't
know where you are.
I don't identify with one specific religion. I'm just spiritual, I guess. I would say. I believe in a higher power that is God. And as far as that goes, I think the reason why there's so many different organized religions that have a different interpretation of God, this is going to be the crazy thing. I think they're all right. And you can say, how can they all possibly be right?
Yeah, I've heard this argument.
Yeah,
yep.
It's I think God comes to you in whatever way makes you comfortable.
I had a buddy, Ivan, who I've told you about Ivan. He's done acid about 60 times. Me and him have gotten into a few debates about religion. He says that religion is a bunch of fingers pointing in the same direction. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, most major religions at their core share pretty much the same beliefs.
Well, yeah, that's why they call it Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah. You're saying, it's basically at the core the same values, the same idea of there being a higher power that put us here.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it depends. Being a believer, I'm really bad at defending my religion right now, but because I am not in the mindset. But
right.
Yeah, no, obviously, I gotta get my priest on this podcast so he can defend it. Yeah. We'll just stop there for that. Anyway, I have another question for the...
I was going to say, that was just the first of the three
C's,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There we go. Do you agree that classic masculinity is under attack?
In some regards, yes.
Okay.
But I think that's mostly the movement of trying to tear down toxic masculinity.
Okay.
Which, you can definitely see there's effects in society on men where toxic masculinity is a problem. But, that's the thing with the whole everyone wants things to be black or white. in life when they're gray.
What's your...
You don't need to get... You're not going to get rid of toxic masculinity by just completely tearing down masculinity. It clearly has its place.
Well, you're enveloping the two into one.
Yeah.
You're not deciphering between the two. What would be your definition of man? A man.
Like, what does it mean to be a man, basically?
Yeah.
I would say...
Put you on the spot, didn't I?
Well, I'm just trying to think of different aspects, because the main overarching theme, I would say, being a man is, regardless of circumstance, just going and doing what has to be done. But,
Okay.
you could take that definition and just... You could expand on that. You could say that's just what, like, being a successful person is in general.
Yeah, would you agree that to care for others before yourself would be an aspect, or no?
You could include that, but at the same token, I would say...
Would you agree with that,
that's
though?
not, like, exclusive to masculinity,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's in my classical definition.
Right.
But, so you're saying a little bit different. So you're saying women, because obviously women do, obviously, because there's more nurses as
it's
women.
It's not gender exclusive to be caring and nurturing. That's just a kind of a basic human empathy thing.
I say that because the role of father within...
You mean like the selflessness?
Yeah, because
being like the typical like provider,
that's
taking
exactly
care of
it.
everyone else before yourself.
Yeah, because I was just
At the expense of yourself.
Yeah, because I was just in I was just put into the KFC. What do they call that? I just entered the Knights of Columbus, and that's one of our. We do a lot of charity, and we provide for the homeless and the sick, and we donate a lot. Actually, the KFC is founded upon stability. Father McGivney, who started it, basically, he had a parishioner who died, and his wife couldn't provide for herself, so he raised money within the church to care for the wife and the kids,
right?
Because the father died, and then he made, of course, the Knights for that. Yeah. So that's why I would put that definition into my own. But
I guess for me, what mainly, puts the divide in exclusively masculine things is mostly in like the physical realm.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say where masculinity is mostly exclusive and defined is physical tasks.
I guess from your upbringing that could be seen, because you were very physical, right? But you are psychology too.
I want to make it very clear that masculinity and femininity are not gender exclusive.
Okay.
Right. So like things that are masculine can be done by all genders,
Are you trying to say that it isn't a duality?
No, I'm saying like something that is masculine. I'll give you an example. Lifting weights. That's not exclusive to one gender or another. Everyone can do that. It's a masculine act in and of itself, regardless of who's doing it.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
You're going more broad.
Like physical labor.
Okay. So what about men?
Things that are exclusive
what is the definition?
to men?
No, what is the definition of men to you? Being a man in a family, let's say. Let's say a classical man in a family.
Okay, well, if you're in the family man, obviously you got to provide for your family.
Okay.
But I mean, generally speaking here, if you have a family, that's just kind of the main priority, regardless of who you are.
Well, no, because our divorce rates.
Yeah, that's one of the problems.
That's a big problem with me.
Yeah, people want weddings, not marriages.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good take on it. Yeah.
They don't want to put in the work.
Put in the work. Yeah. Because
and
it's horrible.
that's just one little subsection of an overarching problem with our society of people not wanting to put in the work. And you can see it's actually kind of a pattern in history. Like you see the memes of like bad times create strong men create good times that create weak men create bad times.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see throughout history like one of the big criticisms of like a social democracy, like the type of society we live in, is
It doesn't allow for the weak to die off.
There's too much freedom.
Oh, okay. Is it kind of like
Darwin?
Darwin?
People just tend to like
sounds like
become
Darwinism.
apathetic and not care, so things just atrophied.
Yeah, it sounds like Darwinism.
Yeah.
All I can hear is, you're going to need people to die off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in, like, survival and fittest.
I think, you do? Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, that's the push in society, where all these groups are like, no, it should be acceptable for this, when it's like, should that be acceptable, or is it just you don't want to feel bad because you're in that group, and
you haven't climbed?
Instead of feeling societal pressure to better yourself, you are comfy being mediocre.
Yeah, it's going back.
Yeah.
There's a good loop around. Yeah, Alan Watts said...
That's what I meant, like, at the beginning when I talked about people don't have the inner voice, the inner drive to push them to better themselves, that I hear in my head every day.
Every
tells
second
me
of
to
every
do
day.
these things, like my intrinsically motivational voice to tell me, do this thing that you probably don't want to do, but you know you should do because it's good for you and it'll help advance you towards your goals.
Yeah. I was going to say real quick, Alan Watts always said up implies down.
Yeah.
So that's pretty true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that, I just want to ask you, is it one voice in your head or two, or is it multiple? Because I usually have contending arguments in my head sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I have arguments in my head sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to, yeah, like as far as doing tasks that I don't necessarily want to do, but I know I should do, it's usually just the one intrinsic motivational voice telling me you should do this. Sometimes when it's something I like really don't want to do, there's an argument in my head where this other voice is like, nah.
Just do it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Shia LaBeouf operates in my head. He's like, do it!
Look up Shia LaBeouf. It's a good video. Just do it. On to the third question of the night.
Yeah.
How are you going to mold the future? And I say the future, not yours.
Right. Okay.
Which would be yours also. Yeah.
Yeah, so if we're just talking about trying to help mold the future for society in general, I'm going into social work.
Okay.
And kind of my biggest motivation for that, ever since I got interested in psychology way back in freshman year of high school, was partially from my own experiences where I knew one of the biggest things is a lot of people, when they're struggling mentally, you feel like you're shouting at the top of your lungs, but no one can hear you. And I, going into social work, could feel better knowing that I am someone out there who is always going to be able to listen. Because a lot of the times, at the root of it, that's just the biggest thing, that people want to be heard.
So you would want to be somebody that maybe your former self would look out for, look up to, kind of, yeah? Yeah,
like, at the end of the day, if I can't help them any more than just being an ear to listen, that can honestly just do wonders.
So, yeah, honestly, people, that's having people to listen. It's there's nothing wrong with having a therapist. It's just somebody to listen.
Yeah, that's just something we have to work on in society.
Stigma, breaking
stigma. Down the stigmas, making it acceptable for people to care about their mental health, because, you know, that's, I guess, one of the downsides to, you know, capitalistic society. It's just, I don't care about your mental health, just do the work, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, there's a time and place for that, but you'd be more productive if you don't just drive yourself into the ground and have a burnout and epic crash and have to completely retool. You know, instead, you know, occasionally stop to make little fix-its here and there to keep the system running smoothly.
Yeah, because you don't even have to, there doesn't even have to be anything wrong to go to a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know how much you like cars, so you know, I'd explain it to you like a car. You know, if you have,
it doesn't have to be broken to change the oil, right?
yeah, if
Just
you got,
exactly like that.
yeah, because you know the way people are taught is like, say your mental health is the oil, you're like, nah, just drive that thing till it won't drive no more. Where now you're gonna run into a lot of issues.
Your brain's the engine, yeah.
Yeah, because you just jacked up the engine, and now you have to get a whole new engine. Whereas if you would have just stopped, changed the oil quick, it would have been a much easier thing to handle.
You're welcome to Cecil and Patrick, the car guys.
Yeah.
Cecil and Patrick, they'll be listening.
Yeah.
We just broke down that psychological value right there for you two. You gorillas.
Yeah.
You've met Patrick, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, big man.
Oh yeah.
Episode 1. Episode 1. Go if I'll put the little cliff note in the top right corner. It'll pop up. Go watch episode 1.
Yeah. If you somehow stumbled on what you said, this is episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you somehow stumbled on episode 5 first,
it might be possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked up a few viewers on Jeremy's.
Yeah, the algorithm is clout.
Yeah.
Jeremy knows people.
Yeah, Jeremy knows a lot of people too.
But yeah,
being big man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the algorithm's weird.
YouTube?
Yeah, there'll be all sorts of times that in my recommended it pops up.
Mine?
Like no, like my recommended, for example. Like I'll see a video that is interesting, so I'll click on it, and I find out it's actually a video in a series on the channel, and it's like in the middle of it. So then I'm like, well, damn, now I have to go all the way to the beginning to get context, and then go all the way through. It's like, well, why didn't you just recommend me the first one to start with? But
well,
you know, maybe the first one isn't necessarily as interesting, so
or as popular.
Clickbait, you know,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. This is eventually going to go on Spotify, so we can kind of do away with that. Spotify's a lot better, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, just look at Joe. He's like the king of podcasts, and there he is.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying personally, I like Spotify because it's more just sound. Because there's no, I mean, I could do a video for this.
But yeah, it's like
I'm moving around so much for this podcast that it's kind of, you know.
Yeah, that's the one thing that is kind of interesting with like watching a Joe Rogan podcast video. It's like I'm just watching him sit there talk to a microphone with these other people. I mean, yeah, they're doing other like entertaining stuff, but at the root of it, like I could still reap the same benefits out of just listening to it.
Does it draw you in, the video?
Certain videos. I mean, he's got so many different types of guests on there and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're doing, like, if you watch the Alex Jones ones, I mean, you know, he's doing
Alex Jones. Yeah, he's doing all sorts of like wild stuff. So you're like, I got to see the video for it. But you know, he has someone like Ben Shapiro on. They're not doing any like weird stuff on camera, you know. Yeah, I don't really watch Joe Rogan. I'll listen to him though.
Right.
I don't watch his videos that often.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah. Well, no. I just listen to it. I just pop it in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because.
Well, I mean, really, at the root of it, that's what podcasts are meant for.
Yeah. Yeah. That. And all
if you want people to be watching it, like, just go make a video. I don't know.
I like how now that this has kind of gotten a platform a little bit.
Yeah.
People are starting to find the themes.
Right.
And I get like inboxes. They're like, I got the answer to your question already set up, and I'm waiting. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, when the platform grows enough, you'll actually just start making like timestamps in your videos.
Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah.
If I have time. Yeah.
Right.
Because engineering's a bit. P-chem. Damn it, Jeremy.
Right.
Oh my god, yeah, that video really needs some context. I was so tired when I showed up. It was like 11. I think I said it in the podcast. It was like 10 or 11. Oh my god, I was just burnt. And you know me, I get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It was literally 18 hours into my day, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do a podcast. And so I just hit it up. But yeah. So, want to wrap things up? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about pretty much everything I can think of for now.
Yeah, we're about let's see what we got. Yeah, we got an hour and 20 minutes in.
Solid.
All right. Yeah, you'll be back on the podcast.
Oh,
anyway.
for sure. We'll talk about other stuff a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to get into like, extraterrestrials and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, the far out there stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll get on that. So, anyway, thanks for listening, obviously. This is episode 5 of MMP. Do you want to plug your Instagram?
All right, yeah. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm just at Aaron_Turck. That's my main.
Two A's.
Yes, Aaron. And Turck has a C before the K, not like the Ottomans.
It's a Turck.
Turck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go follow.
It's Germanic.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Undia.
Yeah.
Give it a follow.
And then I also have a Finsta, which is just Aaron. And then there's like an underscore after the A's and the R, and then there's a bunch of underscores in front of it and behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just put it in the description.
Yeah.
That one's probably harder to find.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back. I have no idea who's going to be the next episode because I have quite the list of people and I do not know who I'm recording with.
The Jaw episode.
The Jaw.
The J and A episode.
Oh, yeah, no, I see the little box behind you.
Yeah.
I got to get one where I can plug in 3 mics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that won't be the next one.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yeah.
We'll I'll have that very soon though. I'll probably order it maybe next week.
Word.
Yeah, and then we can have the anime arc.
Oh yeah.
And we'll start doing that more often because we can have the 3 of us on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll include D. He's gonna be an episode, by the way.
As he should be.
Yeah. Anyway, this outro's been long enough, so.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
See you next time.
We'll see you around the corner in the next episode.
He's got clout.
The Buddhists in Japan call it Jiji-muge. Jiji-muge. Between event and event, there is no block. And they represent this imagistically as a network. Imagine a multidimensional spider web covered in dew in the morning. And every single drop of dew on this web contains in it the reflections of all the other drops of dew. And of course, in turn, in every drop of dew that one drop reflects, there is the reflection of all the others again. And they use this image to represent the interdependence of everything in the world. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it. In other words, if we give this dewdrop image, if we put it into a linguistic analogy, we would say this: words have meaning only in context. The meaning of any word depends upon the sentence or upon the paragraph in which it's found. So that if I say this tree has no bark, that's one thing. And if I say this dog has no bark, that's another thing. So you see always that the meaning of the word is in relation to the context. Now, in exactly the same way, the meaning as well as the existence of an individual person, an organism, is in relation to the context. You are what you are, sitting here at this moment in your particular kind of clothes and with the particular colors of your faces and your particular personalities, your family involvements, your business involvement, your proceeds and your everything. You are that precisely in relation to an extremely complex environment. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it. If a given star that we observe didn't exist, you would be different from what you are now. I don't say you wouldn't exist, but you would exist differently. You might say the connection is very faint, is something that you don't ordinarily have to think about. It's not important. But basically it is important. Only you say, I don't have to think about it, because it's there all the time. See, for example, the floor is underneath you all the time. Some sort of floor, some sort of earth. And you really don't have to think about it. It's just always there, it's always around. If you become insensitive, you stop thinking about it. But there it is. And so in the same way, our subtle interdependence with, mind you, it's not just our plain existence. It's the kind of existence we have is dependent upon all these things. Also our plain existence, but that gets way down. The fundamental thing is existence is relationship. In other words, if my finger out here is all alone and the wind doesn't move and nothing touches it, it stops knowing that it's there. But if something comes along and does, immediately it's aware that it's there. So, you see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it. But in this way, you see, what we call duality. Well, you can see, can't you, how duality is fundamental. It takes two. But duality